Hello everyone, welcome back. Remember, we are discussing tips to help your child improve his or her grades in mathematics. And then I said, before we look at tips, solutions, we need to look at problems. So today we are looking at problem number 2 that children face in mathematics. Problem number 2 is that maths is a subject that has prerequisites. This is really a problem for children. What are prerequisites? Prerequisite means something that you need to do before you move to another thing. That means before you move to another thing, you have to do that particular thing first, because it's going to be like a guide to the next thing you want to do. Like in the university, you study maybe maths 101. When you get to 200 level, you study 201, and they tell you without 101 you can't do 201. 101 is a prerequisite for 201. Do you get it now? So maths is that kind of a subject. It's full of prerequisites, unlike other subjects, and that's why people feel other subjects are easier. For instance, in English, today the topic might be nouns, and then if you don't like nouns, next week you will move to another topic which could be verbs, and then interjection, and so on and so forth. Also, we have it in agri science. Today the topic might be farm tools, and then the next topic is going to be planting techniques. The next topic will be something completely different. We also have that in basic science. Today the topic might be water, tomorrow it might be air, next it might be soil, and so on. But maths, check out these topics. The first topic is maybe let's say multiplication, and then maybe you are doing numbers, counting of numbers. From counting of numbers, you move to odd and even numbers. If a child doesn't know how to count numbers, how will the child move on to odd and even numbers, for crying out loud? The child will not be able to cope with odd and even numbers. So that child has to learn numbers first. So that is a prerequisite. After odd and even numbers, we move to another topic, prime numbers. How will a child be able to do well in prime numbers when the child doesn't even know ordinary numbers? So, knowing your numbers well is a prerequisite to learning odd and even numbers. And then knowing your numbers well is a prerequisite to learning prime numbers. And from there you move to factors, multiples. How will a child do well in maths? How will a child do well in a topic like multiples, factors, when the child doesn't know his or her multiplication table, he doesn't know the numbers correctly? Definitely the child cannot move on. And then from factors, multiples, you move on to HCF, LCM, and the child is still not doing well because the child doesn't know his or her multiplication table. From there, the child moves on to proportion and even more complex topics in maths. And then the child is not doing well. Not because of that present topic. It's because the child has not gotten a firm grip of the foundation of mathematics. So this can be a major problem for children in mathematics. It's a major problem because maths is a subject that involves prerequisites. Hence, it has to be handled deliberately. When a child is not doing well, you don't just start paying attention to that child at that stage. If you want to start teaching the child LCM, and you have to go back to the foundation, and that is where we get it wrong. Some children, when they don't get those topics at the beginning, they get confused, they get intimidated, they get angry, and then they believe maths is difficult. Because that knowledge they neglected, they are going to meet it in the next class. The knowledge they are neglecting, they meet it in the next class. So what do you do now? Haven't identified the problem. What you do is you go back to the beginning and then start taking that child. Either you do that or you get a professional that can do it well. also have problem in maths. I know of a child that the problem started when the child was given the promotion. When the child was in primary one, the child was very brilliant, primary two, very brilliant, and the school felt, "Ah, why are we wasting this child's time? Let's take the child to grade 4 from primary 2. And then when the child got to grade 4, the child was destabilized. It did not affect other subjects, funny enough, but it affected maths. Why? Because of this topic we are treating. Maths has prerequisites. If that parent is not knowledgeable enough to know that all the topics my child missed in grade 3, I have to teach that child. You just feel your child is brilliant, then you skip a class, and then the child's performance begins to drop just because all the prerequisites in grade 3 were not taught. And some feel, oh, my child can skip a class at any point in time. Some children need time, maths need time. Some, they need to practice over and over again before they get the concept. And so if you are comparing your child with a cousin, with a friend's child, a neighbor's child, you say because the child skipped a class or the child goes to JS1 from primary 5, primary 4, you want to do that for your child also. And you feel that child must cope because someone else is coping. You are not doing that child any good. Why the competition? Why rushing your child? Some children, their problem starts when they get that promotion or they skip a class. They didn't have problem before, but because that gap was not managed properly by the parents or by the school, by the teachers, the children will start having problem. Please, parents, let's not put these children under undue pressure. Most times when we skip classes, the effect comes on the subject mathematics because it's filled with prerequisites. I've explained earlier how we have prerequisites in maths, and so we just have to let the children take this topic step by step. For each topic, they need to practice. Maths is not like other subjects that they will just read it and that's all. And if they don't understand, they move to another topic. Maths, if they don't understand, they are going to meet that knowledge in the next class. I hope this tip will go a long way to help us. That maths need time. They need time to practice. They need time. They need time to practice. They need time to do their work well. Thank you. In my next video, we'll be looking at another tip. Bye for now.